He left Red Bull, he went to Renault, he's gone to McClaren, he's going to get the victory now. It's McClaren and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix.
Yes! Oh my God, that was just wow. Monza always delivers. This is In the Paddock F1, Greeny and the Cheese. That was David Croft's call on Sky Sports, courtesy of Formula1.com. We are outside of Milan, Italy, the leading financial center, the most prosperous manufacturing and commercial city in all of the country of Italy. The Gothic Cathedral, Piazza del Duomo, can be found there. Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper painting can be found at Santa Maria del Grazie Church. But this ain't no history show and fact show. Oh, no. This is an F1 podcast, and we were at the Temple of Speed, Monza. We'd have pissed off Max, smash into Lewis, almost kill him, for God's sakes. And we saw Danny, wire to wire. Oh boy, our boy. He's back, he says. Greedy. Good evening.
Good evening, Cheese. Yeah, it was like what a crazy day. I mean, I guess it's kind of moot as far as the championship points go, but as we always talk about on the show, safety, especially when these guys. What we saw was wild from Max Verstappen, and I don't want to make that the story of the evening because Danny Ricciardo winning his 8th Grand Prix, his first of obviously this year, his first of McLaren, and first of McLaren's won in many a moon, my friend. 9 years, 2012, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Last time
yes,
McLaren has won, so this is a big deal for McLaren. And like you said yesterday, maybe I'll play the clip, but like you said yesterday, you wouldn't be surprised if Danny won. I scoffed at you, openly scoffed, and you were right, my friend.
You know, I wish I bet him to win.
You were right. You would have, yeah. I didn't take a look at the betting odds because I didn't bet on them, so I threw that out the window. Yeah, I was going to take a look at it before the show. But we'll get to Greedy Bucks in a little bit. We got a big announcement, by the way, tonight. Unbeknownst to you, Cheese, you're going to have to wait because you asked for it. Something you asked for, and I delivered. You might have forgot, but I delivered. We'll bring that to you all next segment, so stick around. But first, we're going to take a look at what happened on race day, my friend. Max did not win today.
No, Max did not win today. You had Danny with an awesome start. Awesome start and being on the inside. He's got the inside track for the first Variante or chicane, but they call them Variantes in Italy, which I dig. He's off and away. Horrendous pit stop for Red Bull. Max comes out of there, basically tells him to shut up on the radio because you can tell he's just pissed as hell. Lewis makes his stop, comes out, gives the man room. Max tried to put his car somewhere where he shouldn't and ran over the top of Lewis. I don't want to hear Max. I do not want to hear Max Verstappen bitch and moan and cry and say he squeezed Lewis Hamilton. If I was there and I heard him say that, I might have slapped him in the face. Because that's an absolute hypocrite is what he is right there. Because on the first lap, what did Max Verstappen do to Lewis on turn 4 in the second chicane?
Yeah, same thing.
What do you do, Michael? Same thing. And then he's going to come out after the race and say, oh, he squeezed me? Shut your darn mouth. You put your car in a spot you shouldn't have. You're getting a 3 grid place penalty for the next race in Russia, which I don't even think, I think it should have been 5 at minimum, because that was absolutely insane. When they're way too hot, he was too pissed off. He was too pissed off. Christian Horner deserves a slap in the face, too, for his post-interview, saying when they asked him, was Verstappen too hot? And he said, no, he's a racer. Goddamn right he was too hot. He was pissed as hell he was in the pits.
He was too hot.
More seconds than he should have been.
That was
a stupid move. That's a young driver who, as you said a week or so ago, possibly could win a title. After seeing that, he ain't going to win no title. Because that's not what somebody's going to win a title, a world championship does. Sometimes you have to give way. Lewis gave way in turn 4 in the first lap. Therefore, they didn't crash out. Max didn't. Way too overzealous. And the penalty doesn't... I think he should have got more than a 5-spot creek penalty for the next race. Completely insane. But let's not take it away from Danny. Wire to wire.
Wire to wire.
Our boy. We didn't like talking bad about him. And did you hear him after the race there, Michael? Anybody who thought he was gone... He's back. He drove with a little fire this week, all weekend long, and it showed. It absolutely showed. Well-deserved victory. We got the good old shoey, which we all love, although I ain't drinking out of Danny Ricciardo's shoe. No chance, no way, no how. Even Lando Norris said, I ain't ever doing that again. Your feet stink. Posted that on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know about no shoey. I don't know about that. I know... He was
entertaining.
He was super pumped about that. I don't know how entertaining it is. Maybe for you. Maybe for some people. Maybe a lot of people.
If I ain't drinking it, I ain't drinking it.
But tradition dies and traditions don't die. But yeah, I don't want to take anything away because I think even regardless of the pit stop, both Mercedes with Lewis Hamilton and the Max Verstappen pit stop, I think with both of them, what combined 15 and a half seconds, 11.1 with, I don't even, what even happened there? I mean, what even happened with Max? And then Lewis as well, 4.2, which, doesn't seem terrible, but you really want to get close to 2.5 as possible. So talk to me about those pit stops. That kind of led to the craziness.
No, it did lead to everything that happened. I mean, I don't know what the heck happened with Red Bull. I really don't know. I'm not even sure. It was the right front. I guess they thought it wasn't on, but the guy said it was on, and then he re-hit the gun. Then they even didn't release him then even. There's just all kinds of mental errors. Something you do not see from Red Bull. That was just an absolute mess. I don't even know. I don't even think Christian Horner even knows what the hell happened. I think that's going to be reviewed over the week because that was a mess. The Mercedes stop was just a slow stop, just slow getting the tire on. Mercedes pit stops haven't been where they have been in the last, I'd say 2 years ago. Last year they showed chinks in the armor with their stops, especially with the end of the year with the whole Russell. When Russell was in there for Lewis and that whole debacle. So they've been having issues on and off. I mean, they've had issues all season long, depending. Mainly it's been on Valtteri. But today it was on Lewis. Valtteri stops were all perfect. McClaren stops were perfect. McClaren had a perfect race, and to be straight honest, absolute perfect race.
That's how they won. They weren't going to win without having a perfect race.
But, 1-2's even after the stupidness, but they deserved it. Mercedes, did gain a little bit on Red Bull with only, one car finishing from each team and Bottas finishing in front of Sergio, but the pit stops were a mess. Made Max hot. He did something stupid. And I lost a little bit of respect for him today, too. In a different regard. You run over somebody's car. And then you don't even stop to make sure the dude's okay. Like, absolutely lost a lot of respect for Max Verstappen there. Yeah, that's your championship rival. You sit there and you say after the race and everything, oh, we have a lot of respect for each other, but you don't go check the man's okay after you go over the top of him and your tire hits the man in the head. We might have to talk about getting the halo adjusted up maybe a couple inches.
Yeah,
I lost some respect for him today. I lost respect for him. I lost respect for him.
I don't know. I don't know if how bad Verstappen knew the accident was. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. We're looking at it from a completely different angle. We're not seeing it from his angle. If you were watching, and I was watching in Verstappen, we were I think the view they were showing here in the States was in Verstappen's car, and you could see just him lifting up, and it takes a second to figure out mentally as you're watching live in his car as it's off the ground and horizontal. So pretty wild stuff. It happens. We've seen it before. Nothing that we haven't seen before. Unfortunate for F1 fans today. I don't think you can count Danny out, even if Max and Hamilton, and they had good pit stops and the accident and everything else. I don't think you could have counted Danny out today. I don't want to take anything away from Danny. Phenomenal race day, and got to give it up for him.
100%. We love Danny on this show, and it was great to see. It was just great to see. Get that big fat Aussie smile out there. Danny's a good character, and it was great to see him back at the top of the podium. 100% deserved. Man drove it, just an outstanding race. Outstanding.
Absolutely outstanding. So give it up for him. And listen, we still got winners and losers. And somebody is going to slap their own damn self tonight. So we're going to see who that is, plus the big announcement, my friend. And Greenie Bucks. Don't forget, let's see if any of our the trifecta this week, I believe, was paying something like, I don't know, like 1,000 to 1 you had going on. If you bet McClaren 1-2. If
you pick that trifecta.
If you bet McClaren 1-2 and Bottas in third, you, my friend, are having a great night. Let's see if that's what Cheese put on his list. He would be the king of Greentopia. He would be buying other countries and other islands and other imaginary lands if he hit this. But we'll see. In the paddock, Greenie and the Cheese. Yeah, back after this. We are back, Greenie and the Cheese in the paddock. Yeah, don't forget to email us at inthepaddockusa@gmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. Hit Cheese up. Cheese is the wizard at Instagram, so hit him up. Cheese in the paddock on Instagram. You can hit me up too.
I don't know about wizard, but all right.
And,
about a wizard.
We've been
like Gandalf Graham.
No. Far from it, my friend. But just being over complimentary to you.
Appreciate it.
Not the wizard, as I made him out to be. I appreciate your humbleness. Yeah, so hit us up. We definitely had some people hitting us up with some questions. So, yeah, you asked for it. We're going to have a Saturday night mailbag. So, 2 weeks in a fortnight, correct? At our next show.
Yes, sir. Yes.
The fans want to have questions and they want answers. Mostly to you. No one really cares about me. So we're going to answer their questions.
Okay.
If that's okay with you, sir.
Absolutely, sir.
All right. So, folks, you have to wait for that since I was too lazy to print stuff out this week. I didn't want to like blindside you with questions. I was thinking about it, but there was a lot to discuss this evening.
I'm a little surprised. Because you love to blindside me.
I know, I didn't want to blindside you. I kind of blindsided you on this announcement to give it to you, like, straight up right here without telling you off the air here. But
you tend to do
are.
that, though, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, listen, keep it fresh, keep it exciting. And so there we are. So we'll read some of those. I appreciate everyone sending in, and you can continue sending it in the paddock.usa@gmail.com. Hit us up. Thanks for listening. And away we go with winners
100%.
and losers, my friend. Winners and losers. So I want to hear about the losers this week. Let's go losers first, if that's okay with you.
Okay. Yeah, we could do losers first.
Because we got some losers with the winners. We got some losers. Let's finish strong because we had a mess with Max and Lewis today. So let's try to finish strong. So let's start weak, finish strong, and then slap yourself.
My first loser will be AlphaTauri. Last year, the penthouse. This year, the outhouse. With the 19th and 20th place finishes. Just bad. Just bad. Gasly wrecks the car yesterday, but started for the pit lane. Got to expect to give it a little, something, especially with the safety cars and virtual safety cars and everything that happened during the race. But nothing. I don't even remember how Gasly even retired, to be quite honest.
It was early.
Tsunoda retired too. Just an all-around awful weekend. And we've talked about it, but I just can't get off of it. But my other loser is going to be Red Bull. You lose ground to Mercedes. You lose the win when you should have won the race, to be honest. I mean, after what happened yesterday, everybody expected, Red Bull to win. You lose ground to Mercedes. You lose a car. Horrid pit stop. Just an awful, awful weekend for Red Bull to end with. Those are my two. Who you got, son?
Yeah, not good. I'm looking at you, a man we praised over and over again over the last, especially couple weeks, Antonio Giovinazzi, who loses 6 spots.
Again.
Disaster. Again. I called he was going to finish 15th. He finished 13th. Disaster on lap 1. And, yeah, just no good. No good. So you get excited that he's going to keep that spot in Alfa Romeo going next year, and then he.
And what the hell were they doing today? What the hell were they doing today with like 4 laps to go to tell Kubica to pull aside and let Giovinazzi by? Like, what's that gonna do?
Yeah,
you're out of the points.
Nothing.
You ain't getting no points.
Nothing.
So what the hell was the point of that? What the hell was the point of that?
Getting data, putting him in the lead car, but I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. Robert Kubica's a fine driver.
You're out of the points. Who the hell cares outside the top 10?
No, it doesn't matter.
Honestly, who gives a crap?
It doesn't matter.
Honestly, if you're out of the points, who gives a crap?
Doesn't matter. But that was wacky. And Mercedes and I mean, not Bottas, but Lewis Hamilton. Disappointing in the sprint race. Disappointing in the race today, regardless of how he got out. It's not like he was competing for podium or barely. I mean, for first. I mean, he really wasn't. So, Merc on those straightaways versus, McLaren couldn't do it. McLaren won the day, and definitely got to give Hamilton that loser. You don't get an opportunity to give Lewis Hamilton the loser spot very often, so you got to pull the trigger when you can. And those are my losers for the week.
So that means we will move on to the winners. My first one is going to be Valtteri Bottas. One hell of a drive today. That was a drive. Outside of Danny Ricciardo, who got driver of the day, which was my vote, my second would have been, if that wasn't the case, it would have been to Valtteri Bottas. Because that was a drive. To come from the back and to finish on the podium, that was a drive. I don't know where this has been all year. I don't know, after, he's out of the Mercedes now and he's a little bit more, he's going to be out on the way out, so he's racing a little bit more freely. But that was a hell of a drive. Hell of a drive today. And my other, we've already stated, but McLaren, finishing 1-2, you're definitely got to be a winner. I don't think McLaren hasn't done a 1-2 since, 12? And they haven't won a race since 12. I think the last 1-2 might have been 08 or 09. Something around there.
When they won 1-2, 09, I believe. 2009 was the last time they won 1-2.
1-2, and last time they won was 12. So
it's been a while.
You gotta get in the winners when you do that.
Yeah,
the struggles have been on for McLaren for a number of years.
Not today.
And it's not today.
Not today.
Not today.
You couldn't tell they were struggling over the last decade. Not today. Not today. So there you go, man.
Who do you got?
I got Lance Stroll past Sebastian Vettel like he was standing still today. He took him out, took him to town. It was a little embarrassing for Vettel. So I got Lance Stroll, and I got Williams. 9th and 11th? Are you serious?
Points
Williams.
again.
William points again. Russell points.
Georgie
points
boy.
Again. And just solidifying themselves as in that, solidly in that 8th spot, where we thought they were going to be 9-10, and now they're looking like 8. I don't think they're going to get to 7, but they could. I mean, they're definitely moving up. So you got some classics.
It's shocking. It's shocking what money does. What money does in Formula One.
Well, that's shocking. Williams and McLaren, a little bit of little classic F1.
Little nostalgia.
Little nostalgia. Yeah, it's like watching the Knicks be good again. So,
yeah, you could. Yeah, that's another story.
Anyway, but yeah, and those are my losers. That means there's only one award left, my friend.
That was winners, sir, not losers.
Baby powder. I'm sorry, I was our winners. I apologize. I was excited to hear who's going to get the baby powder out.
I need to slap my goddamn self for that.
This was a tough one, to be honest. This was a tough one, to be honest. Comes out of the same camp. So it's really just I don't know if you just want to give it to the whole team. Or the one pick guy, or 2 pick guys, or Max Verstappen. But Red Bull, get out the powder and just slap yourselves. All yous.
Line them up.
Just line them up.
I would love to see it in unison. 1, 2, 3. Slap yourself. And a big puff, like the puffs of smoke like you get before the race. And you get a big puff of red for Ferrari. And you get a big puff. You get that orange for Max. But today, Red Bull is white. White with baby powder. And they deserve it. They were a disaster. I don't want to discount Checo picking up 3 spots, finishing in 5th. But you got to get Max across the finish line. You got to get Max on the podium. And yeah, you're right. I was giving him the crown. And he didn't deserve a crown.
You don't deserve a crown till you earn it. And he ain't earned nothing.
Paper champ.
Ain't nothing but paper champions right now. And he showed today that I'm not sure he's going to win the title. Because that was not a world championship move.
No.
That is not something somebody's going to win the world title would do. You can see it from the first lap. Lewis gave room and backed out. A world champion. Probably could say the greatest Formula One driver ever. Debatable, since some, like an Ayrton Senna's was cut short.
You can argue those. You can argue those in pub rooms all night long, my friend.
All night long, but numbers wise, he is the greatest driver. He backs out. Somebody's young and overzealous. Hasn't won a title. He's got some growing to do before he can win a title. And you don't. You go in there full throttle, overly hot. Even if Lewis gave him room, he wasn't making that corner. He would have pushed Lewis into the gravel in 2. So just slap yourself. Just slap yourself. Not even once. Give me like 5 times.
5 times.
Give me like a 5.
Whole team, so you're talking like hundreds of slaps. It's a big number.
You better get Johnson & Johnson on the phone. We don't need a bottle. We need like
phone.
We need cases.
Start shipping cases to Italy. Start shipping cases to Italy. We're going to have a white powder party out in Monza. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Appreciate it. We got one more segment to go, my friend. It's the Greeny Bucks. That's right. It's what you all wait for. It's what you all want to hear. Did Cheese take it home? He talked about it. He talked about putting his money down. But did he put his money where his mouth is? Stick around. Greeny and the Cheese in the Paddock F1. Back after this. What's up, everyone? Greeny from In the Paddock here. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Please let me explain. It's free. Okay, free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you for free, so it can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many, many more. You can make money as well. Money with your podcast. No minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Yes, we are back in the Paddock F1. Greeny and the Cheese. We're talking post-race Italiano Grand Prix. But we already spoke about that. It's everybody's favorite segment of the week. Are we cashing in Greentopia? Living it up at the bars, the casino. It's almost like the Monaco casino. Fancy pants. Or are we checking out? We get on the next boat out of town.
I don't know if you're
Get
taking
the heck off this island.
Get off the island.
Heck off this island. Get off this island. They're coming for me. I owe cash.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Jurassic Park when like Newman's trying to get off the island, and every like road is the wrong road, and there's a hurricane coming. Clear the island. All staff need to get off the island, and yeah, that's what
are we catching in, or are we checking out?
That's what it feels like. I got my can of shaving cream, and I'm trying to sneak dinosaur embryos off the island here. Yeah, not much movement. We both hit on the bow toss. I hit a little bit more than you, but then I lost a little bit more because I bet more on Max, and then more on my trifecta, Verstappen, Hamilton, Norris, with those first two not finishing. Lando did come in second, so he made the podium, which means nothing. And then you had Max, Danny, and Hamilton. Obviously, Danny wins. And I just wanted to play a bit from last night, if that's okay.
Sure.
That's okay.
Sure.
Here we go.
I was even thinking Danny. I had the 3 of them written down. 2 got crossed off.
Yeah. I don't know about Danny this week. I mean, historically this season, he hasn't been great on race day. Just historically this season. So I'm definitely all right. Whoop, as we flick that beast off. But yeah, you didn't pull the trigger on Danny, but it was on the tip of your tongue. But
I went conservative with Max after last week going for the jugular. I did have Danny in there. I gosh darn should have bet it. At least for the win. Should have bet it for the win. And put my foot on that throat a little bit more of yours. But no. I went conservative. But because you're a loon, you still lose money. Sounds about right. Because you're a maniac. As I said you would. Give this man some cash. Starts waving in the air. You're like one of those dudes like Vietnam. Watching those fights and you're waving fistfuls of cash in the air. That's you.
Watching,
you get a little money. You're like
watching locals fight behind,
waving those hands in the
behind
cash.
some bar. Some 9-year-old kids that don't go to school no more because the school burnt down. So they're going to make a living fighting behind the local watering hole. Yeah, sometimes you feel like you got to bet on that stuff. Obviously, this is immoral and outrageous, but yeah, sometimes you feel like you got to bet. And if you do feel like you got to bet and you shouldn't be betting, you should be calling 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER here in the U.S. Or look for help. That's why we bet greenie bucks here, because we don't want to, take it over the top. You don't want to bet real money here because it's all gamble. Who saw this coming today? That Max and Lewis would take each other out. Who saw that coming? Raise your hand. Nobody. People saw Danny winning like yourself, but nobody saw Max and Lewis taking each other out. Pretty rare that it happens. Happened today. I guess not so rare. I mean, it does happen. Especially when these guys are fighting.
This year.
What's that?
Already happened once.
Yeah. So these things do happen.
I mean, it happened once when somebody crashed out. They got in contact. They were in contact at Imola. Contact today. In the first lap, they had contact. I mean, they've been making contact all season long. It was bound they're going to knock each other out at some point. I mean, Prost and Senna did it, and they were on the same damn team. It happens. Shouldn't have really happened.
Lewis and Nico.
Max was an idiot. Max and Nico did it. Yep.
Lewis and Nico.
Yes, Lou. Yeah. So, I mean, it does happen. Was it avoidable today? Yeah, it's always avoidable. But it happens. So could you have seen it? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with those two in close proximity, sure. Nobody's given an inch. Are you going to bet that way? Probably not. Unless you're some kind of maniac. I'm surprised you didn't, because you're a maniac, so.
I'm thinking of pulling the trigger on something crazy, and you never know. You got to be consistent with your crazy. You do. You have to be consistent with your trifecta crazy. Like picking trifectas without the top two in the point standings in there, or the top two favorites in there. And you're going to pull it out a couple times this season. And when you do, it's raining cash, my friends. It's raining cash. But tonight it is not raining cash. We finish. I have a total of 580 greenie bucks. To pales in comparison to your 1,060 greenie bucks. Cheese. Where are we going next?
What did you lose for the week and what did I lose for the week?
20. Even 20. Both lost even 20.
Okay.
So, moot.
So, no ground whatsoever for
push.
You, sir.
There's a push for the week. These things happen. I kind of played it to hope to at least push you. And the crazy trifectas might have to start coming out. I was pretty sure about Bottas yesterday. That was probably what I was feeling best about was Bottas. So I should have went like 100 on it. So might have to start pulling that stuff out as we head down the stretch here. Running out of races.
Of course you will.
Running out of room.
Of course you will. Because you're a loon.
We need to. What else am I going to do now? I put myself in a hole. I got to dig my way out of it. That's the fun of the game, my friend. Digging your way out. Or keeping your bags packed at all times. You got to have the emergency bag packed. It's got to be ready to go. You know, like when my wife was pregnant, we had like the emergency bag.
We have the
You know.
emergency bag. So instead of like most people who have, their emergency bag is for, natural disaster, an earthquake, tornadoes, hurricanes. Yours is for hitting the road because some dude's coming with a bat.
Owing money to the guys I know that I have never owed money to, but being in the situation that I would owe them money, yes, it is like a F5 tornado. Or the equivalent of. Except you don't get a warning on your phone. Well, the warning on your phone is a little different. I'll be there in 15 minutes. Like, yeah, well, I won't. But luckily, like I said, I pay my debts. I don't have many debts, except for this year, except to you. My luck has changed. I got arrogant, and I'm going to try to weasel my way out of it. And
ain't no weasel in this. Ain't no weasel in this.
As I want to win the 2021 season so badly that I may have to drive my car on top of your car to get that done. We'll see. And might have to go out on a ledge for the rest of the season on my trifecta.
You'd have to catch me first.
I have to catch me first. Yeah, I can't catch you. But yeah, it was a week.
Yeah,
not a
week for of yours versus my GTI. I think
Yeah.
I'll laugh at you.
Yeah, I'll see you.
I could give you a head start.
I meant it metaphorically, my friend. I meant it only metaphorically. But yeah, so like I said, man, hit us up. You want to get in that mailbag. It's filling up. To be a part of it, in the paddock@gmail.com. Hit us up and send those questions right to Cheese in the Paddock at check him out at Instagram. You can hit that man up and add it to the bag. And
add it to the bag.
And so yeah, we're gonna do it Sunday, but there's no mail on Sunday, so we gotta keep it on Saturdays.
Okay. It's email, so it's always open. I don't know what you're talking about the mail. I mean, the postal service here just deliver on Sundays now.
Does it? Wow.
Sometimes you see them out dropping boxes off.
All right. No rest.
Not all the time, but their guy was out today dropping off some packages. Waiting on that Amazon junk.
So where are we going to be in 2 weeks?
Russia, Sochi.
Get pumped.
Sochi in Russia. Was it last year? I think Valtteri Bottas did win here.
Yeah, Bottas did Sochi last year. In 2021, or 2020, 2021. I can't talk this evening. Sochi, Russia, 2 weeks at a fortnight, my friend. Say what you got to say, homie.
We'll catch you in 2 weeks, a fortnight, Russia. And as always, stay medicated, my friends.
Peace.